and in Toronto, when the green flag flies, we will be racing, and we are racing, and Colton Herta immediately with the advantage. Kirkwood trying to make some moves around the outside of Will Power, bunching up down there through turn one. Everyone through safely. Are they? Little nudge on the wall from Felix Rosenquist, but pretty much everybody through there unscathed, and that's key on lap one on the run down now to turn three. And look at Marcus Armstrong coming from the pole sitter, coming for Colton Herta, but can't quite have a look. And Kirkwood is already up and fighting against Alex Palou. Does he get it? He does. That's up to third place for Kyle Kirkwood.
Palou's got a championship to defend as Rahal's having to defend against Will Power there, where Kyle Kirkwood can just go for broke here, and that's what he's trying to do. Townsend, he looked maybe like he was out of line at the start of that race. We'll have to see what race control has to say about that, but so far, no cautions on the first lap.
Yeah, amazing that everybody's made it through so far without any contact that we noticed. And I like the way Graham Rahal made that move to defend against Will Power. That's a huge start for Graham Rahal. Could be his best race of the season.
Squirrely through the final few turns at the rear of the field, but a perfect first lap from Colton Herta, who is already starting to stretch his legs 1 second ahead of Marcus Armstrong from his equal best starting position in the beautiful Canadian liveried Meyer Shank car. But look at Kirkwood already tucked up underneath Armstrong's rear wing and going for a move on him on the run down to turn three. Immediately the man who felt he should have been on pole, trying to take back second position and make it an Andretti 1-2 as Power again has the defend, this time from Marcus Ericsson.
Boy, it looked like Marcus Armstrong got awfully defensive there down in turn three. The brake zone can be a little deceiving based on how the racing line normally goes. I wonder what race control might say about the defense from that Canadian liveried car of Marcus Armstrong.
Don't forget, in IndyCar, your defense has to be an offense. You cannot move once the driver behind you has made their move to try and pass you.
Riding on board the Gamebridge Honda of your pole sitter Colton Herta, and that's the view back to Armstrong, who did a great job on lap one, turn one, to get around the championship leader Palou. He has podiums in his career. Last time out in Iowa, we would love to get that 1 or 2 steps better. He was third in those occasions.
And a driver in already, and it's Pato O'Ward. So too Scott McLaughlin, so too Marcus Ericsson jumping in at the earliest possible opportunity. 2 laps completed. Get rid of those softs and get racing.
So that tells us that none of those teams think the soft tire is going to last. We'll be watching lap time for these top 3 cars as Kyle Kirkwood and Marcus Armstrong continue to duke it out side by side. But we'll watch lap times here, James, to see what the pace is like.
Guys, something really strange is happening. I noticed it earlier. I want to make sure I wasn't dreaming, but the yellow caution lights on the back of the race cars are flashing. The attenuator and the rear wing end fences have red lights that normally, and we see a full course caution.
McLaughlin.
There it is.
And McLaughlin is into the wall, and his rear left has gone. I wonder if that was secured or if he's just hit the wall. Right? I'm sure we'll tell from the replay, but to see that wheel just bouncing down the track like that, normally it would stay attached thanks to the cords at the rear of the car. But
really, it's the wheel lock nut, and I'll bet this wheel was never on. And there you see the wheel nut coming off the left rear.
And that's it. So trying to get that stop done quick, and Penske's miserable season continues. We now have drivers on pit lane. Jack.
Colton Herta just pit. They've gone for a new set of that hard tyre. That was a really clean stop. I'm just also waiting for Kyle Kirkwood. He's also back down pit lane. Really smooth stops by the Andretti duo. Georgia.
Marcus Armstrong had a clear pit box getting in because Marcus Ericsson had already pitted. They went from the softs to the hards. No adjustments. Kevin.
Colton Herta easily won the race off pit lane. Then Marcus Armstrong gets out second, followed by Kyle Kirkwood.
Now Palou punches it, and we go green once again. An excellent restart from the championship leader on the run down towards Prince's Gate. VK goes with him as we look towards the rear. Anyone having a look down there into turn one? Not quite at this lap. Everyone just shaping up. Oh, and now O'Ward has a look at Jacob Abel coming through there. Or is that Lundgaard? No, my apologies. But O'Ward wants to make these moves early doors. In fact, it was O'Ward. O'Ward getting ahead of Stingray Robb, so he's made up a good couple of places there, has Pato O'Ward. Lovely restart from the McLaren man.
Yeah, massive stack up right here as Colton Herta tries to get past Jacob Abel and Stingray Rob. O'Ward was lucky to clear Rob early. Now these guys are going to be all jammed up. Siegel, contact there, gets into the back of Marcus Armstrong.
And this is where the Colton Hertas, the Marcus Armstrongs of the world have to be patient. They've got to make sure they get through this next little stretch. They're essentially leading on one strategy where the Palou, VK, and Foster team is leading on a different strategy. It's so easy, though, when you had that clean air out front. Now you're stuck in traffic to get frustrated, force a move that can lead to a mistake.
Alex Palou is not hanging around. 1.5 seconds in one lap of Rinus VK. But VK and Simpson have got to try and look after their tires, take those softs as far as they will go. Palou knows that he can do about 30 laps on fuel and on this rubber.
Yeah, he's going to look to stretch the stint as long as possible with Alex Palou as Kiffin Simpson and David Malukas go side by side. Simpson with the advantage.
And Pato trying now to put the move on Devlin DiFrancesco, and that is for 11th place. He is absolutely not hanging around as Armstrong gets around Abel. And Siegel will try to do the same. You can pass here in turn 5, but you've got to be committed.
Got to protect your car. If you're one of these fast guys trying to get yourself back to good fortune after kind of unlucky timing with the yellow in the pit stop, you just have to protect your race car. All the while, though, your team is telling you, hey, Alex Palou has opened up a massive gap up front. We got to make some positions up. How do you walk the tightrope? That's the challenge as a driver on the streets.
Now Scott Dixon lining up his teammate Kiffin Simpson, who is on that soft tire, which we expected to start degrading around lap 7 or 8, and flies past 1. Will he fly past 2? Going for the move on David Malukas as well.
Lucas
doesn't give him the room.
So smart for Scott Dixon to back out of that, not force it early. That's exactly what we talked about as Alexander Rossi trying to force his way through in that Java House yellow and blue car. But guys, I'm watching the pace of Rinus VK. It is dropping fast. Malukas has gotten ahead, so VK's on that soft tire, and he's out of tire at this point. He is in panic mode and going to stay out.
Newgarden gets past Simpson. Lundgaard gets past Simpson. Rossi wants past Simpson, and here comes Callum Aylock.
And here is the problem for Alex Palou, is his team will be watching this and saying, I don't know if we can make this on 2 stops.
Bad news for Palou for sure, but that was a huge move from Schwartzman as Dixon easily by VK, but Schwartzman on the outside of Rossi when he got checked up there. Side by side now, Ericsson in 1.
Kirkwood puts the move on Rahal further back. 2 races here playing out at the same time. VK dropping like a stone. Newgarden on one side. On the inside is Lundgaard. They both go through. Lundgaard will have track position as Newgarden tries to hustle him around the outside. They make contact. That will slow Newgarden down, but VK can't take advantage on tires which are now long past their prime. And here comes Schwartzman up the inside at 5, and that's another position for the rookie. Yeah, no joke, Rinus. You absolutely do. Alexander Rossi now inching to get past him as well. Those soft tires are toast.
This race suddenly got very interesting because Alex Palou now knows that he needs to find about 25 seconds over Pato O'Ward on this stint as Rinus VK comes in. That's the gap Palou's going to need to make that extra pit stop now.
And Simpson stays out incredibly.
I think that's a mistake.
They're just losing so much time at this point. It's creating these traffic jams. Herta now going to go by. Siegel going to try to follow through. That's 3 wide into 1.
And that's Rasmussen on Islet and Abel. And Rasmussen does 2 in 1 corner. The action coming thick and fast here in Toronto. Here comes Kyle Kirkwood. It's 3 wide down into 1 around the slower car of Simpson. A little bump, a little hip check. Stingray Rob has a look as Rahal goes around the outside of Rob. This is wonderful.
Oh, so narrow through there, the canyon that's turned 3, 4, and 5. Rahal just makes it through.
Boom!
There goes Christian Rasmussen.
His luck has finally run out. Spins it around on a flat rear right. We'll try to get that back to the pit. Shades of Gilles Villeneuve-style driving.
Here's the incident that put us under caution. This is Power on the inside of Rasmussen.
This is exactly what Will Power did last year to his teammate Scott McLaughlin.
We go back to green, and Palou leads from Foster on the run down to 1, and Scott Dixon moves defensively immediately to to shake off any advantage Lundgaard had, and O'Ward tries to make the move and does make the move, executes immediately on DeFrancesco as Kirkwood puts the move on Armstrong.
That was Herta, I believe, putting the move on Armstrong. His car looks so similar to Kyle Kirkwood, it's going to be tough to keep those two apart, but Colton Herta making a critical pass at the right time.
As Malukas does exactly the same on Louis Foster. Malukas up to second. Bunching at the rear, and Rosenqvist once again coming off the worst. Sitting on board with Rahal as up the inside. Eilert has a look. Rosenqvist has a look.
Heavy defensive move there from Eilert, riding on board the United Rentals on board with Graham Rahal. It looked like he was just driving Rosenqvist to the wall on the inside of turn 5 there.
I like it though. Eilert just went super deep on the brakes and took away the possibility for Rosenqvist to do what Will Power just did to Christian Rasmussen. Look at the bump guys through here. Right here, it is so gnarly. Bam! You're going to just absolutely whoop. If you look back in the far view of the camera, you can see the cars just hopping around there. Here comes Ericsson.
Ericsson on DeFrancesco as Kirkwood does now put the move on Armstrong. One lap after I said he had, because his teammate Colton Herta had already done so, and now Herta wants to do exactly what his teammate Ericsson did 1 corner ago. Up the inside, almost brushing the wall on the run down to 3 for Colton Herta, and that is definitely DeFrancesco, the local boy, dispatched. Oh, we've got a flat
Rossi.
rear, Rossi.
I think that's more than a flat. I think that's contact.
Yeah, it looks like he's gone into the wall, given the bodywork damage flailing around.
Exit at turn 11, likely.
More help for Alex Palou here.
The car has looked difficult to drive all weekend. Oh, boy.
Oh, wow.
And you know what? He was up to just lightly brushing the wall, but it looked like a part of the wall was maybe jutting out.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
that's the
right
problem.
there.
When you have concrete to concrete, in this case, it's like a little bit of a deli slicer. That front leading edge is sticking out and just ripped the right rear off. James, that should have been a little bit of a brush, and I wonder if somebody touched the wall earlier and created a seam there that wasn't there the rest of the weekend. Total destruction.
Look how much debris is thrown across the front straight as a result of that. This will be a lengthy cleanup.
Who were the cars that dove in when they saw Rossi? It looks like that was Pato O'Ward and Robert Schwartzman and Graham Rahal. For Pato O'Ward, you might be sitting real pretty.
And roll of the dice for Prema with Schwartzman.
Because I think Pato O'Ward now can make it on one more stop. So when everybody pits under caution, this guy likely to go straight to the front.
They will pit. Most of them have to run alts again. You have 4 cars in front of you that might try to stretch this, but they'll be in a large fuel save. You are P1 on cars that can just push to the end with one more stop.
Gonna be wild right here.
It is gonna be wild.
Oh!
Alex Palou is staying out. Scott Dixon stays out with him. Everyone else is piling in. Georgia.
Louis Foster told the team he was battling.
We got a spin. I'm sorry, Georgia. Kyle Kirkwood has spun on the entry to pit lane, trying to make it inside to his box, trying to get through that bar that we talked about right at the start. Louis Foster is in and is away. I'm so sorry, Georgia.
No way.
Now Kirkwood gets in.
No way Kyle Kirkwood spun on his own. I'm sure he got help from behind right there as the Andretti crew races to get him back in. Kevin Malukas is away.
Louis Foster comes out second, and Josef Newgarden gets out third. They waited until the very last second. They were planning on Palou coming in. He was asking, how long do I need to go on the softs? There was no answer, and then it was stay out at the very last second.
We're back to green and immediately back to full course caution here at Toronto as Jacob Abel, who was being passed by David Malukas.
I don't know what to do there.
Tried to turn in a little too early with Foster on the inside, and then Newgarden just nowhere to go once again. And then you see with Armstrong getting checked up, Siegel made some contact, so some of the cars that didn't have to stop there may still have damage.
Oh, Kyle Kirkwood.
Lucky.
Just got by.
Now they pull the pin, and Kevin's standing by.
So I think they got to the point where they think they're going to be able to get home on one more stop anyway, so might as well take advantage of the caution. Dixon is up around the bend. Palou is at pit out. This is the soft set for Alex Palou, and he will beat out Dixon, who is also on softs.
As VK squirrels around and gets us going back to green, followed by Simpson, followed by Connor Daly, and followed by Will Power. And look at Pato O'Ward putting his gas down and trying to get up on the inside, puts the move on Power straight away at one, and Pato O'Ward is through.
And that's going to give Power a bad exit out of one, might leave him susceptible to Schwartzman. Remember, no push to pass available on the first lap of a start or restart.
Power's going with Pato though. Power trying to take the position back as Daly has a look up the inside of Kip and Simpson, going too wide, and we sit now with the 12, and that is Pato O'Ward, and now Power's in the wall. You cannot really go too wide there unless you're both willing to play ball, and Pato was not willing to give an inch. Elbows out, Power gets it going again under his own steam, so we avoid a full course caution, but that was pretty strong.
More problems for Team Penske. Unreal how this event is playing out for them. But back up front, O'Ward now on the charge. You see his teammate Newgarden there, big defense as Armstrong dives into the pits.
Look at the three Andretti's driving with purpose. It's Ericsson, Herta, and Kirkwood, who has managed to get himself through and past. And now Pato takes the look up the inside of Daly. Pato O'Ward is not playing around today. Elbows out, moves on show. Pato is pouncing at every opportunity. This is a magnificent drive from the McLaren man, who knows he needs track position, knows he needs to use these laps to get past those saving fuel. As Rosenquist has a look at Herta, but no way through. This is inch perfect from Pato O'Ward as Palou tries to get past Louis Foster, but the rookie will not give him an inch.
Palou's got to be so careful right now to just protect his race car. He finally gets by Foster right there. Now Dixon will have his turn on the rookie.
At this point, those softs on the two Ganassi cars are going to be better. You are going to have more grip, and you need to sort of make hay while the sun shines, because we know that about 10 laps into this stint, it's going to go a bit sideways.
Something happened to Foster. His left rear is damaged. Foster got into the wall. Dixon was able to get by. Pato O'Ward head down again. Two cars separate him between where he is and the lead.
Back in turn one, back in his favorite spot, and another position gain. This is majestic.
Surely Renus is going to come in now.
Speed on the way in, please.
And he does.
O'Ward looking to do the overcut. O'Ward stays out. Jackie's coming to you.
He is coming to me, and he's just literally stopped on his marks. Going to put some of that shell fuel in. Hard tyres going on. Dale himself is a strategist on this car, and he is known for being a bit of a magician when races kind of tend to go this way. He might have absolutely just struck gold.
Looked like a perfectly clean pit stop from Dale Coyne Racing. Well done. Now the outlap. Cold, hard tires. Watch out for lockups.
We saw the overcut work for Dixon on Palou. That was going a lap longer. I wonder if O'Ward's just going to do one more lap, try to do the same thing, or does he push it, T-Bell? Does he go 2, 3, 4 more laps?
It's so risky, though.
And they rolled that dice in Iowa. It didn't work out for them. You've got to think the 5 crew is considering pitting this time by.
But where Pato O'Ward won Iowa was beating Josef Newgarden on his in-lap. Pato O'Ward so fast with his hands. He can manage these bumps at Toronto so well. I got to think Pato's going to come down.
I wonder.
I think he's in the pits.
He is in the pits. Pato O'Ward is on pit lane. Georgia.
The team asked if Pato liked the changes they made the last pit stop. He said yes, he does. The car feels good. They put those hard tires on, fill it up with shell fuel. He had to get around Rahal coming in, but he has a clean out.
Clean out for him, but where does it bring him out in relation to Renus VK? Look to your left, look to your right. Pato O'Ward on pit exit. Where is Renus VK? Simpson's pitted as well.
Wow.
VK to the left, and it's huge from O'Ward. Easily takes the lead over Renus VK. Not the lead of the actual race, but the lead potentially once these stops all play out. It's Ericsson who leads from Herta, but O'Ward is third, and just those two Andretti's ahead of him on track. We're back in Toronto. At the back of the screen, you can see him there, the 60 of Rosenquist behind him, the 4 of David Malukas. Yeah, that's right, the driver who was third has now fallen down the field because he came in for his final pit stop. Here he is, the full crew going to work down there on pit lane. Oh no! And that's the rear right, wasn't fully attached.
The outside rear tire changer had a difficult time placing the wheel and tire initially, and somehow Malukas given the signal to go, and then this happened to Felix Rosenqvist.
Big lockup going down there into turn 3. Seemingly has lost a part of his front wing, which has been falling apart for a while. When he makes it back onto the track, squeezes Alex Palou through 4, who then makes it through at 5, and then the two make contact again, Will Power and Felix Rosenqvist, and it was those two who made contact that did the damage to his front wing in the first place.
All sorts of fun for the Sirius XM car as he just tries to salvage what he can now. 14th place is what he fell to, and he has Malukas right on his gearbox now, trying to recover from that pit stop issue.
And what about this, guys? Pato O'Ward with 13 to go leads by 3 seconds from Rinus VeeKay. Kyffin Simpson sitting there in 3rd, couple of seconds ahead of Colton Herta and the Andretti trio. What's going through the head, though, of Dale Coyne as he sees his boy, Rinus VeeKay, sitting in 2nd and driving towards a podium, potentially a win?
Well, let's find out, Will. Dale, you're so good with strategy. What are you seeing that sometimes other people aren't?
Strategy evolves, you know that. So this one's been crazy with the yellows and when they'd come. And, you know, I think Ganassi had a unique strategy, but it didn't work out for him. So this one's kind of a toss-up, but Rinus is doing a good job running up front. It's good.
Well, good luck for the rest of the race, boss.
All right, thanks.
Understated, and a guy who is renowned in this championship for finding talent, giving them a platform on which to show just how good they are. And Rinus VeeKay has done that. Oh, as we get very close with Daly and Lundgaard, Daly forces the issue. Dixon will try to take advantage of that now around the outside of the Juncos Hollingen man. And Daly holds tight, and now Palou up the inside of Lundgaard. They're going to make contact, they do, and Will Power is getting in on that as Palou gets all sketchy. Rear hanging out around the corners, and Malukas says, thank you very much, Will Power. I'll have that position, and I'll get Alex Palou as well.
Alex Palou's going to have dirt and rubber all over his tires for the next couple of corners. He almost got into the wall there. That was close stuff, and now Will Power slides wide and lets Rosenqvist through.
Dude, look at Malukas. He's absolutely on it. He's taken 2 drivers in 1 corner. Now he's going off ahead of him and trying to get onto the back of Scott Dixon, Christian Lundgaard, and Connor Daly. Malukas is on an absolute tear.
Got fresh tires, feeling hero strong on new Firestones, and you have to wonder what if Malukas hadn't had that pit stop bobble. But watch Scott Dixon. Here he comes on Daly.
On the inside, on the run down to 3, already well past Connor Daly, as Malukas now to the outside of Lundgaard. Will need Lundgaard to give him some space, and he doesn't. Tire to tire and contact between Malukas and Lundgaard, and look how racy Malukas is. Tries to look around the outside at 5, and there is absolutely no way through there.
And guys, we're battling for 12th, 11th. You know, this is absolutely elbows out, no holding back with 10 to go here in Toronto, but Palou has got to be smart about this. Pato O'Ward is 2nd in the championship. He is leading this race, walking away with it. If he has a DNF here, he's already losing a massive chunk of points in the title race. He has to finish this race, just bring it home with 10 to go.
You can never take your eyes away from an IndyCar race. Doesn't matter if it's a battle for the lead or a battle for 12th. You are going to see drivers with their elbows out, giving it their all until that advanced auto pass checkered flag falls at the end of the race. And here comes Malukas, and there's contact, and there's a touch on the wing as we run down still into turn 3. Malukas gets past Lundgaard, goes around Daly, and little Dave is on the charge. Wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
We've seen Lundgaard be super defensive so far in this race, so if Palou gets a sniff, tries to make a move, he's got to be on his toes here.
You can tell Alex Palou, I think, has backed up his aggression a little bit on that last lap. It was a little too close for comfort when Lundgaard stuck him wide there in turn 7. So Palou's going to kind of regroup here, look to have maybe a little less contested run, possibly on the back straightaway, or maybe even into turn 1 right now.
9 to go, and Palou looking fighty, tucked up behind Lundgaard. Will he make the move, or will he hold steady and think about the title, think about the points? Just take it home easy as Power gets up on the inside of Rosenqvist, who is struggling, and frankly, I don't know how he's held on as long as he has in this race with that front wing in the state that it is in.
It's going to be Palou looking for a move here, I think, on Lundgaard. They've got Daly as a pick.
Lundgaard will go around the outside of Daly. And they make contact, and Lundgaard almost into the wall. In fact, is into the wall, just the smallest amount of damage to his car then, but that drops him behind Rosenqvist and goes side to side with Rosenqvist, and Rosenqvist gets sideways, and Armstrong makes it through.
Lundgaard is driving like this is a Norwegian rally. Sideways, bumping, elbows out, great stuff.
Rally cross, you know, when there's multiple cars on track and you're door to door. That's the amount of contact we've seen out of the 7 so far today. It's unreal.
I mean, I think Christian's learned a lot from his dad, Henrik. He was a European rally champion back at home. Knows all about that kind of driving. Now Palou has the look at Daly, and now Palou gets through. Power will try to do the same. And Daly's been hanging on, and unfortunate for Connor to be dropping back, but when you're coming up against the likes of Palou, and now Power around the outside, and has it done. Under braking already, Armstrong looking at Lundgaard. That's very late on the brakes, they're going to touch, and they do.
I mean, the last 3 laps from Lundgaard have been just insane. He's getting pushed out of the way, he's fighting back.
Yellow, yellow.
Oh, and we have...
And Rosenqvist.
Yeah. And that is down at turn 10.
Guys, 3 to go. That might be all she wrote.
I don't think you're wrong.
2 to go now. He's crossed the line.
And what a sigh of relief for Kyffin Simpson. He had just made a little bit of a bobble there in the S's in the final few corners. And as the caution is out, it'll be 1 to go at the line.
Unless they can get themselves going. And even if they do get themselves going, I think you're right, Hinch. That may be it. Oh, and Rosie, it's just that front wing has been hanging on by a thread all race. I can't believe that Rosenqvist actually managed to take it as far as he did.
I think it was a mistake on the power. Let's listen.
It looks like he lost the front end. Well, we came into this weekend and Pato O'Ward said that this was one of his worst tracks, that his previous races couldn't have gone much worse. This morning, team boss Zach Brown said, I believe in miracles. Pato said they turned the car upside down. And the intention now is to turn the championship upside down for the 2nd time in 2 weeks. Pato O'Ward will win an IndyCar race, and he will do so having got his elbows out and given us the old Pato. Victory for Pato O'Ward on the streets of Toronto.
Absolutely. Thank you. Well done.
Wow, we go down to Kevin with a race winner, Pato O'Ward.
And Zach Brown was here to see his Arrow McLaren IndyCar team win. Pato O'Ward, this has not been one of your most successful tracks. Did you see this one coming today?
Oh man, I can't say I saw this one coming today, but I was feeling so good on the prime tire all weekend, really. You know, we were just struggling a bit to just get the alternate to work in qualifying, and sadly that's the one you need to transfer. But I knew I had a great car under me to race with, and the guys nailed it on the strategy. You know, thank you to Team Chevy and all the guys and gals at our McLaren. This number 5 was definitely one that we knew that we had. We just keep making our Sundays a little bit difficult, but before warm-up today, there was a bird that dropped a load on the car, and one of my guys, my front, outside front actually, and I said, that's a living myth, that's gonna be a good day today. and it was. So no, I'm stoked for everybody, and just I would never expect to have gotten, you know, this this much better in Toronto, because it's been the most challenging track and circuit for us in the past.
Up next, it's the IndyCar Grand Prix of Monterey, Sunday, July 27th at 3 p.m. Eastern on Fox.